No, thank you. Sleepy. Come back in an hour.
Need sleepy.
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
It's now time for the Billy C. Morning Show, part of the Billy C. Boxing Network. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. Studios in Lake George, New York. Snowy Lake George, New York, I might add. I'm Bill Caligiero, and it's time for the Billy C. Morning Show. Good morning to everybody out there. Glad to be part of your morning this morning. And I want to give a special shout out to all of our viewers on Fight TV. Check it out. And by the way, you don't even, all you need is a handheld, and you can check it out. If you don't want to see it online or on the TV dial, just go to fight.tv. That's FITE.tv/Billy C. Download the app today and take us with you wherever you go with your handheld. Trust me, in addition to our show, there's a lot of other great combat sports events. And by the way, when you go there and you download the app, if you just click community, our show pops right up. Or you could use the search bar and just put Billy C. or Talkin' Boxing or Billy C. Morning Show, whatever, and we'll pop up. But bottom line, go to fight.tv/Billy C. Download the app today for free. Today's show, She's a Being brought to you in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria, an Italian restaurant located in St. Simons Island, Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Don't forget, if you're heading south for the winter and you're heading on I-95, Sal's place is literally a 15-minute detour off of I-95, and that's us figuring you're going to stop for a couple of red lights. If you run the red lights, you get there quicker. Trust me. Mention this show and get a free cannoli with your meal, and you won't regret it. For the address and all the other info, just visit the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by firefan.com. Download your copy, and it's a fantasy sports game that you can win money for. But listen, if you use our code, and the best way to do it is just visit our website, www.billycboxing.com. Click on the Fire Fan banner, which is on the left-hand side. It'll automatically put our code in, and you'll get to download the game for free. But here's the best part. You get the game for free. You get to play for free forever. But the bestest part is you get to win money. So you got nothing to lose. Just visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the Fire Fan banner. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molino from Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. Get yourself a copy. Like right now you can. Just visit Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. Find out why we got a 5-star rating across the board. And speaking of my book, if you want it signed, no problem. Visit the website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the book club section. One final thing, that today's show is being brought to you in part by tomorrow's Billy C., Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz rematch post-fight show. Whew, that was a tongue twister right there. Don't forget to tune in right here on either our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkinboxing, TALKINBOXING, on our website, BillyCBoxing.com, or on Fight TV. And 6 minutes after the official announcement is made, we'll be going live. We'll give you our thoughts on the fight, and we'll open up the phone lines to get your thoughts. And speaking of phone lines, we're going to be opening up those in a little bit. Today's Friday, so it's Fan-Driven Friday. My topic today, Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah. He's spitting out olives again, getting pulled over, swerving, drunk driving, speeding. Was seen hitting the bar scene the other night, and 2 a.m. gets arrested for drunk driving. Poor Oscar. You know, maybe that's why he's making all these piss poor decisions for Saul Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Unbelievable. Gets pulled over again. Joining me right now from St. Simon's Island, he's a New Jersey Boxing Hall of Famer. He's a Guinness Book of World Record holder. He's a movie star. He's a play star. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, please welcome the one, the only, Sal Rocky Senicola. What's up, Sal?
Billy, I'll tell you. I'll tell you, between needing an agent. Maybe you should be my agent, huh?
I should be somebody's agent. I need an agent, but I tell you what, you be my
hey.
you be my agent. I'll be your agent. How about that?
Hey, we'll both be secret agents.
Yeah, and that's about what we're doing. And you know where we'll end up? We'll end up right where we are. You know what I always say:
Right
wherever
there.
you go, there you are. You know what I mean? But what do you think, Sal? Oscar De La Hoya. We all know his documented problems with drugs and alcohol. He seemed to be cleaning up his act, and yet once again finds himself in hot water the other day, speeding, getting pulled over 2 a.m, and fails a field sobriety test and gets dragged into the slammer for drunk driving. What do you think?
Gee, you know my thoughts, Bill. It's if you're out there in a public's eye and you have to hold a certain image. I mean, you're a human being. I know that. And God forbid, the same thing goes for me. God forbid I have a similar situation. But if I ever get to that point, I think about that trade-off, that God forbid, and I say, no, I'm not going to do it. If I have 1 beer, 2 beers, that's it. You should have the discipline. And it's certainly, of this guy's magnitude of where he is, he could have somebody else drive. I mean, I don't, it's inexcusable. I mean, again, if you're putting yourself out in a public's image, in a public's eye, and you have a certain character you want to portray to the public that is a business-like, that is something else, then, you know what? Watch your P's and Q's. And you want to do something stupid, then know there's going to be repercussions that may affect your marketability, that may affect your pocketbook, that may affect other things. But you're also affecting people that you put out to portray how you are and what you really are looking like. So, I mean, that's my thoughts on it, and that's it.
Well, listen, that's why you always drive me home when I'm drinking at your place.
Damn right I do.
And
if I couldn't drive, I'd have somebody else drive me home.
You know, the funny thing is all kidding aside, you're 100% right, because these guys, especially the guys in major major sports like football, for example, the NFL has a program where any NFL player can get a ride home no matter where they are anytime if they're not able to drive. And how many of those don't take advantage of that program and get behind the wheel and end up getting popped? It just seems that when you become a superstar, so to speak, that you feel you're above the law. And that's what I think is going on with Oscar De La Hoya. And speaking of Oscar De La Hoya, Sal, that he had that lawsuit going on with Al Heyman. And yesterday, a federal judge dismissed it and said that the charges that were being brought against Al Heyman weren't substantial, and that the Muhammad Ali Act, which was one of the main parts of the lawsuit, did not apply to Al Heyman. That the reason and the whole reason why they have the Muhammad Ali Act is to protect the fighters, not promoters. But here's my problem. I think that dismissing it is bullshit. How can a guy, Al Heyman, be allowed to act as either or all as a promoter, a manager, advisor, etc., without holding any type of license for any type of boxing commission, and win the lawsuit saying that the Muhammad Ali Act is not subject to him? This is a guy that Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy was claiming was monopolizing, etc., and this judge ruled, it was a federal judge, ruled that he felt that he was helping the sport, Al Heyman, where we've discussed many times that he's helping himself. I think it's a combination of just the wrong people making the decisions. Again, these are non-boxing people making decisions for the sport. What do you think?
I think you just hit it right on the head. I mean, Whenever you have non-boxing people coming in here with a business savvy or mind, they're looking for the angles, they're looking for what they can do and everything else. And Al Heyman has leveraged himself in a position, and you just have to say, hey, I'm doing it for the betterment of the sport. I'm trying to resurrect. I'm trying to do things, and some turn their cheek, and goes back to saying, this is not an aseptic business we're in, boxing. I mean, it's got some flaws. It's got some chinks in the armor. It's got a lot of excuses. It's got a lot of reasoning. It's got a lot of fingers pointing, but it's also got a lot of deniability. So, it is what it is. It was what it was.
And then and then of course after that, you start getting all of these social media comments, and once again, out of this rises racism. Hey, Oscar De La Hoya is a racist because he's against Al Heyman. Billy C's a racist because he doesn't like Floyd Mayweather. You get all of this racist stuff. The BLM movement. You know what? I'm so sick of it, Sal. It makes me sick. No, so listen, I've come up with a new thing. You and I today, we're gonna start the ILM movement, Sal. Italian Lives Matter, Sal. The ILM movement starts right now. Italian Lives Matter, because I'm so sick of the BLM movement and the bullshit that goes along with it. I'm sorry. It makes me laugh that a case like this, which really the wrong decision may have been rendered. Steve Kim put out a YouTube video. Steve Kim, a colleague of ours, and he said he felt that it was good that when an Al Heyman fighter loses, and bam, he gets bashed with he's a racist. Steve Kim's a racist. He's this, he's that. Come on, man. What? We can't have opinions anymore. I think from now on, Sal, ILM, Italian Lives Matter.
Well, I'm all for that. I'll carry the flag too, but I'll tell you what, all lives do matter. And
right.
That's the whole thing.
Exactly.
My belief, and I'm not pushing my belief on anybody. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but I believe there is one God for all of us. And I believe he's up there looking at us now saying, hey, I'm giving you all this opportunity to work together as my children. And you know what? You guys are getting close because we're going to pull that plug if you can't do it. So I don't know. It's and I'm not putting any religion in this. I'm just giving you, it's a shame because we're all of the human race. We're all capable of communicating. We're all capable of working together. We're all capable of having the equal rights of us in this beautiful country called the United States of America that give us the freedoms, that give us the opportunities, that give us the entrepreneurial spirit to do as we choose, as long as we're not breaking the laws or as long as we're not infringing our desires or force onto anybody else or encumbering anybody else's desire or dreams to come true as well. It's a free country, it's a free society, and you know what? Do it and make it and live it. This is no dress rehearsal. This is your first and only time around this physical earth. Make it work, people.
As Judas Priest would say, break it law. Anyway, hey, listen, let's, before we read some emails and open up the phone line, I have some comical stuff it's related to boxing. So I mean, what other sport can have more comedy? So I mean, we got
I thought Europe was a country.
I don't know what they mean.
What show is this?
It's the Billy C. Blonde.
This is gonna be like a blonde moment right now for the WBA. They first of all, the World Boxing Association for the last 2 years now has said that they are going to clean up what they call is much too many champions in their rankings, which, when they announced this 2 years ago, we applauded them. All last year, they said they were going to do it. They were going to continue doing it. They even said they were continuing to do it at the beginning of this year. As a matter of fact, one of our shows, I think, was last week, Sal, we just took the WBA based on, it might have even been Monday, based on their website. It was Monday because I remember I had looked at it on Sunday, on January 22nd, and as of the that date, the WBA website had 38 champions on their website out of 17 weight classes, But they wanted to focus on the WBA. So get ready, because here's what they said. They said that they are continuing to, their current plan to get one champion in each division, and they're starting off with the heavyweight division. So, in the case of now keep in mind, right now, the WBA has a super champion, a vacant regular champion, and an interim champion. Okay, so here's what they're doing. Right now, the Super WBA Championship is going to be contested between Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko on April 29th. Now, originally, Tyson Fury was supposed to be fighting Klitschko, but he vacated his title for some personal and, testing positive reasons. So the WBA approved Anthony Joshua for Vladimir Klitschko. Now, that's for their Super Championship. Now, Luis Ortiz, who used to be the interim title champion, he vacated his title. So the WBA has decided to let Shannon Briggs and Freza Quendo. Oh, because, by the way, Lucas Brown was the WBA champion when he beat Ruslan Shagayev, but then they stripped him because he tested positive for drugs. You can't even make this up. It's funny. But so the WBA ordered Shannon Briggs and Freza Quendo to meet for the vacant WBA regular heavyweight title. Then the winner of the Briggs and Oquendo must face Alexander Ustinov, and the winner of the Anthony Joshua Vladimir Klitschko still gets to face Luis Ortiz. So my question is this. First of all, Freza Quendo has not fought, Sal, since July of 2014. We're in 2017 right now. He hasn't fought. So he's automatically getting a shot at their, quote, regular heavyweight title. And Shannon Briggs, no disrespect, he hasn't fought anybody of note to justify him fighting for a world title. But those two guys are going to fight for the title. Now, remember, the WBA is stating in the same document that they want to, get rid of all these titles. But yet, after the Anthony Joshua fight and the Vladimir Klitschko fight, the winner of that fight has to fight Luis Ortiz. The winner of the Freza Quendo's Shannon Briggs fight has to fight Alexander Ustinov. My question is, the WBA really, or my statement, I should say, despite them saying so, they have no intentions of unifying their own titles, Sal. If they did, they would order the winner of Joshua Klitschko to face the winner of Briggs Oquendo, not ordering additional mandatories. Like I just said, Joshua Klitschko winner taking on Ortiz and Briggs Oquendo winner taking on Ustinov. What's your thoughts?
I follow you, man. I'll tell you. I'm trying to go through the boxing maze myself. I'm still lost when you have a super world contender. It's unbelievable. What happened to one title, one world championship, one world title? You got this one, you got that one. It's unbelievable. I mean, how do you want to know why the fans turn their cheeks or have a hard time? You know what? It's just unbelievable. These guys get in the game. They have all the money in the world, and they become a reckoning force or a wrecking force because it's just so diluted and so incredible to try to understand and follow and see the rhyme or reason of what they're trying to do. It's to line their pockets with the opportunity to elongate something, to do something, and it's greed.
Well,
they supply their fights, and it's built on need or greed for them. And it's not the true sport of what we need to see happen. The best men in the world as being one world champion.
Well, it's not only the WBA.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's all the facets, all the different world sanctioning bodies.
Well, here's some more info. The WBO, which I used to really like, because they don't put up with the shenanigans. They don't care who it is. They ordered their champion again. What you just said. All these champions diluting the championship, the title of being a champion. The WBO has ordered their middleweight champion. Now, most people on this planet regard Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, as the world middleweight champion, and you could sprinkle in Daniel Jacobs, because he's the only guy with the balls to step in the ring with Triple G. As you recall, Saul Canelo Alvarez was a middleweight champion, refused to fight Triple G because he felt that he couldn't make 160 pounds, and yet now he's fighting at in the super middleweight division. So, I mean, if anybody thinks that Saul Canelo Alvarez isn't, a ducker, then I don't know what else. But Billy Joe Saunders, the worst, no disrespect to Billy Joe, but the worst middleweight champion that we currently have right now, the WBO has ordered him to fight Anfidil Kurtzi, which I know I just pronounced the name wrong. They got 10 days to reach an agreement. Otherwise, it's going to go to purse bid. Further prolonging unification with some BS mandatory. And then, in addition, the WBO is also ordering a purse bid for their heavyweight champion, who is Joseph Parker, which we've talked many times that, if all the stars aligned perfectly, Deontay Wilder wanted to fight him. And now they're ordering a purse bid, which is set for Wednesday of next week, for a mandatory fight between their champion, Joseph Parker, and Hughie Fury. And again, no disrespect to Hughie Fury, but he has not fought any top 10 guys. I just don't understand how these sanctioning bodies are, can sleep at night knowing that they're fleecing the fans.
Well, and that's what you just said. That's the fans, unbeknownst to themselves, don't know what's being pulled over their eyes. Some of them do, sure, but it is, like I said, it is what it is.
Well, wait,
it's a shame.
But no, wait, Sal, because there's more. Let me give you some more. Let me,
Paul Harvey.
Let me give you some more comedy,
More.
Because now we're going to go.
The rest of the story.
Forget about sanctioning bodies for a minute. Let's go to that highly. And by the way, for anyone, we've revamped our website, so a lot of boxing news that we don't have time to talk about on this show has been changed. It's up on the BillyCBoxing.com website. Set it as your homepage. Everything is being put right up on the front page now. Highly anticipated matchups between 155-year-old Roy Jones Jr. against Bobby Gunn. And some news about that. And, oh, by the way, it's a pay-per-view, so you can even pay for that quality fight. But that and some other, big news in boxing, and even small news in boxing, is right on the front page. Easy for you to see with any device. Just go to BillyCBoxing.com. But another pay-per-view that is taking place in February 25th in San Francisco, California. I think it's in California. Miguel Cotto, James Kirkland fight. It was announced yesterday that no, I don't think it is in California. I don't even know where it is. It might be in Texas. But anyway, I think it is in Texas. But anyway, the co-main event has been announced. Guillermo Rigondeaux, who I absolutely love. I mean, I like Rigondeaux. I just think people are afraid to fight him. I think he's a great example of the sweet science. He's going to be defending his title against an interim title holder, Moises Flores, which two undefeated fighters. Guillermo Rigondeaux. Here's where the comedy comes in. Rigondeaux, which this isn't really comedy. Rigondeaux says, "I'm excited. It's my first fight back in the States in over a year. I want to show the world my loyal fans that I'm still one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, etc., etc." Flores says, "I'm training hard. I'm looking forward to making the Mexican fans proud." But here's where the comedy comes in, Sal. The big cheese for Rock Nation Sports, Michael Yormark, I'm sorry, who I'm not sure if he knows the difference between a left hook and a fish hook, had this to say about the Cotto Kirkland pay-per-view card. He said, "Just when we thought the Cotto Kirkland event couldn't get any more exciting for sports fans, Rock Nation Sports is thrilled to announce that Rigondeaux will be defending Moises Flores on the undercard, and also Diego De La Hoya against Joandris Salinas is on that card." My question to you, Sal, is this. How exciting do you think this card sounds? I mean, Cotto Kirkland, I haven't talked to anyone that really gives a rat's ass about that fight. And then when you listen, I love Rigondeaux, but the knock on him is he's not exciting. How can this guy come up and say with a straight face and a clear conscience that people are regarding this pay-per-view as an exciting card? This has snooze fest all over. If you're suffering from insomnia, go watch this friggin' fight. I mean, come on. What do you think?
I got to call up pay for who?
Oh, my God. I just don't get it. I just
Pay for who?
I
don't know.
It's a joke.
I don't see it.
It's a joke. Anyway, let's get grounded here and read some
Yes,
emails so we
well
can open up
grounded.
the phone lines. A couple of emails. Actually, we got several emails here, so hopefully we'll get to the phone lines. But this one's from my man Jesse. He says, my picks for this weekend, Mikey, TKO in 10 over Dijon. Leo Santa Cruz winning a split decision over Carl Frampton. Barrios drawing with Selby. Vargas knocking out Burchant in 10. Gutierrez unanimous decision over Tyron Johnson. And Mickey Roman over Murara, KO by 9. Good luck with those, Jesse. He says, do you like the Miguel Flores versus Dat Nijin fight? This could be a dangerous fight for Flores at a young age. This is one of those articles that you can read up on BillyCBoxing.com. I think it's a big test for Flores for sure. Nijin is a good fighter. He doesn't get the recognition, and I think it shows here that a ranked contender in Nijin fighting what I still call a prospect in Miguel Flores. He says, Billy C., Oscar needs help and better get it fast before something tragic happens. Why is it that these boxers get involved with drugs and liquor so bad? I don't know if it's just boxers, Sal. I think it's like what we were saying in the beginning of the show. I think that these guys, when they reach a certain level in professional sports, that they feel like they're above the law. As a matter of fact, they were stars in high school and in college, and they had special treatment then. I mean, how do we expect them to change?
Well, and like you said, certain things and certain groups and certain people, they feel they're above the law because they've had a little bit of a olive branch extended to them when they should have maybe have not had that kind of end result to begin with. So, it does not shut it down right away, and it promotes or elongates a bad habit that may continue to do further harm to that individual or others.
Right, and that's even the best point of all, Sal. That when they're doing their thing, not only are they risking their own lives or status in terms of drunk driving or getting arrested, et cetera, they could hurt or possibly kill an innocent person just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Great point. Right. My man James says, first of all, Billy C., like you, I used to be a fan of Saul Canelo Alvarez. I don't think he became a coward until he lost to Floyd. After that loss is when he began ducking opponents to avoid another loss on his record. I think he's right. I think my man James is right. He says, in other news, I will miss the Billy C. challenges. Prizes aside, I always saw it as a weekly test of what I've learned from your show. I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much, James. And speaking of the Billy C. Challenge, it may come back at some point. And for everybody that won the prizes, we had the year-end winner, we had the monthly winner, and then we had a couple of people who didn't miss a week. All those prizes, we should be getting out as soon as possible. I know I'm dragging my feet with it a little bit. It's just that we've been pretty busy with revamping some things in the show, which we still haven't unveiled yet, so hang tight for that. My greatest Welsh fan, my man Willie, says, hey, Billy C., just a quick note. London Mayor Sadiq Khan has struck a deal with London's rail network and transportation for London to ensure increased services so that they can have a record-breaking crowd of 90,000 people in attendance at Wembley Stadium. This is for the Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko fight. He says usually they capped the crowd at 80,000 due to transport network capabilities. It will be the biggest post-war boxing crowd since the previous record set by Len Harvey and Jock McVoy at White City Stadium in 1939. And then Willie writes, possibly the year Sal was born.
Willie.
Yeah, I know. Eddie Hearn says Sadiq has urged him to bring the biggest fights to the city. The future's looking good for boxing, and it's about time. Yeah, it looks good in the UK like it always has, Willie. Thanks for the email. Man, he's stabbing you a little bit, Sal. 1939.
I got thick skin.
Yeah, well, geez, I think he's right. I think he's kind of close. Yeah, I think he's in the right decade for your birthday. But anyway,
you're the one that just had a recent birthday.
I know, but I'm still younger than you, I think. But anyway, Brett, my man Brett from Canada says, "Hey,
your birth certificate."
Hey, Billy C and Sal, I was excited for the Anthony Joshua Klitschko fight on April 29th, but now the excitement for me has gone even further now that I read that the London Mayor has made sure that a record crowd of 90,000 will be able to watch this fight live at Wembley. I personally can't remember a boxing card with a crowd capacity of that size anywhere, so this should be really neat to see. Looking forward to the fights this weekend, as there's a lot of good ones. There certainly are, Brett, and we hope that you call in for our post-fight show like you did last time. And I agree with you. There's nothing better than seeing a live boxing event when you have that many people. And just for the record, I don't know the exact number, but I know the Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. fight against Greg Haugen took place at a soccer stadium in Mexico. And I'm thinking, if I recall correctly, and my brain and memory is starting to lapse a little bit, I'm thinking it was around 120,000 were in attendance for that.
Really?
One. Yeah, Aztec Stadium, I think it was called. But anyway, couple more emails here, and we'll open up the phone lines. This one's from my man Johnston. He says, Billy and Sal, I know I've been a recent avid listener of the show. I've been a massive boxing fan since the early 90s and enjoyed watching the British fighters like Eubank, Ben, Collins, Nassim, Lewis, and Bruno. These guys made me follow this great sport through some good times and some damn right disastrous times. I feel like the sport is missing true fighters that want to be remembered for their great fights and successful careers, not their zero defeats. You have mentioned on the show before about certain fighters that want to get paid big money for an easy night's work while trying to fool the fans with the talk of them being great fights. Well, I couldn't agree with you more. It's so frustrating listening to Wilder chat a load of crap or beating his chest, as you like to put it, about how he's the best heavyweight in the business. Canelo blatantly avoiding Triple G by vacating his middleweight title and then jumping up to super middleweight to fight Chavez Jr. when he said he wasn't big enough to fight at the middleweight. Also, Andre Ward now mentioning he's going to retire instead of having a rematch with Kovalev. And Khan asking for a 70-30 split instead of 50-50 with Brook because he thinks he's the A-side. Well, refreshingly, there's still one fighter that could be greater than all those guys, and that is Carl Frampton. He said this guy has already won titles in two weight divisions and was named 2016 Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year after victories over Scott Quigg and Leo Santa Cruz. I felt he won the first fight against Santa Cruz, which was my pick for the fight of the year. With all that said, I actually don't think he will win the second fight, but I do think he will win the rubber match. And the three fights will be remembered for years to come. What I find more refreshing with Frampton is his vision. He wants to become the first Irish three-weight champion after unifying the featherweight division and then stepping up to super featherweight and take on Lomachenko. This is what Frampton said, and I quote, "People always ask about the future and what's going to happen next. I don't want people to think I'm looking past Santa Cruz because I'm not. But when the question is asked, I think about what I want to do. Then I think about being a three-time weight world champion. I'm with Steve Collins as the only Irish fighter to win titles in two weight classes. I stand alone in Northern Ireland and a three-weight world champion. You're talking about Hall of Fame stuff. People would remember that for a long time." He says, Lomachenko, why not? I think what you have to do when you're involved in fights is they need to be rewarding financially. He says, I've done this before and people have given me a stick for talking about money, but when you have two young kids and a family, it's important. Lomachenko fight would be financially rewarded, and it would be a great scalp if I could beat someone like him. This isn't me calling Lomachenko out, a fighter I'm in awe of, but I don't fear anyone. Back to Johnson, he says, yeah, he may be jumping the gun, and I think he'll be looking past Santa Cruz, which is why I think he's going to lose the fight. But for him to mention Hall of Fame and wanting to be compared as a great is exactly what this sport needs. Too many fighters talk about it, but never back it up. He says, like Sal says, pure sizzle, no steak. Man, they're really quoting you today, man. He says,
I love it. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
He says, I believe that the Jackal will be a Hall of Famer, and his fights with Santa Cruz will be remembered always. Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll be mentioning Frampton and Santa Cruz in the same breath as Barala and Morales. And this is from my man Johnston. Great email, Sal. What do you think?
I think it's great email. Great email. And you know what? My hat's off. That's what the fight game's all about. Here's a guy that wants to be remembered and wants to set world records because he doesn't want to just be ordinary or settle for one championship when he thinks he could do several. And that's kind of the incentive and the awe and the whole high regard that fighters should enter the game with appealing and wanting to do greatness and wanting to achieve greatness. And how do you achieve greatness is fighting to be great and fighting the great opponents and fighting and not ducking and being somebody that you stand up for what you believe in, Like I said, that's all it takes, and that's a lot to ask for, but that's what it used to be as a fundamental, inherent part of the game, and that's what we're trying to see again. So my compliments to that email and to the fighters that have that kind of cloth.
One last email, and this one's from my man Bobby from Annapolis, Maryland. He says, hey, Billy C., I hope all is well. I've really been enjoying the shows lately with you and Sal. I try to get the word out about your show to other boxing fans as much as possible and how great your show is. Well, I appreciate that, Bobby. He says, I've been watching some Jeff Lacey fights on YouTube recently from his early in his career, and the man looked like he was a can't-miss champion. In your opinion, what do you think happened to him? We all know he ran into a great fighter named Joe Calzaghe, but damn, he seemed to be ruined forever after that fight. It's hard to believe that that one fight did to him. No, it wasn't that fight. Listen, Joe Calzaghe, I'm not a big fan of Joe Calzaghe, and the reason is Joe Calzaghe ducked a lot of fighters during his reign. And incidentally, Dax Khan pointed out to me the other night, which I forgot about like an idiot, that Joe Calzaghe happens to be 49-0 right now. So, everybody that thinks that other guy, what's his name, Floyd something, is 49-0 and comparing him with Rocky Marciano, et cetera, Joe Calzaghe retired at 49-0. But anyway, I was never a big fan because he ducked a lot of the fights. He did fight some big names all at the end of his career, and Jeff Lacey was one of them. But Jeff Lacey's problem was that he destroyed his shoulder. And once his name was Left Hook Lacey because he threw a devastating left hook. When he ripped his shoulder, he couldn't throw that left hook anymore. And unfortunately for Jeff Lacey, that was his best gun. That was his best weapon. And he was just never the same fighter. He fought Calzaghe after that, and he's had some other fights after that where he's just looked terrible. But that's the reason, Bobby. It was an injury that basically ruined his career. He says also, I was curious as which pay-per-view boxing event you would rank number one of all time. Wow. He says, for my money, it was definitely Revenge. The rematches in 1994. I don't think any card in the future will ever surpass the quality of these matchups. Terry Norris against Simon Brown, Gerald McLennan against Julian Jackson, Azuma Nelson against Jesse James Leja, and Julio Senior against Frankie Randall. We all are lucky nowadays to get one quality matchup on pay-per-view. He's 100% right. And those were the days. We talk about that a lot, about how great the pay-per-views used to be. And he just mentioned the one.
Meant something.
Well, look at how many great fights was on the pay-per-view. It's not like
he just brought them to our front.
Exactly.
Right now.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's not like, today you just like Bobby says, you're lucky if you get one good fight. And you got to sit through, like the joke from Rock Nation and Miguel Cotto, James Kirkland. That fight in itself isn't even worth a pay-per-view. And the other two fights that they're going to have on it, I mean, it's a joke to even suggest it's going to be an exciting card. And, when you got four fights that are all top-notch rematches, no doubt, no less, I agree with Bobby. As far as I'm concerned, I can't think off the top of my head, but pay-per-view / closed circuit. I mean, remember Ali Frazier, Ali Foreman were great fights and cards. Any Tyson card back in those days, the pay-per-views were all great. So I agree with Bobby 100%. What do you think?
Oh, come on. That's what I'm going to say right there. Absolutely, I agree. And that's what I meant. when you and I discussed the old pay-per-views, they meant something. It wasn't something that happened every weekend. And when it did happen, you knew it was going to be something great that you're willing to pay, willing to take the time, and willing to see. Because, wow, not everybody was going to see it, number one. Number two, you were going to see something possibly great.
Phone lines are open. We'll take a couple of callers. Some quick thoughts. Give us a call. 845-228-8710. 845-228-8710. We will take one caller at a time. So if someone's on the line, try after they get off. That's all I can say. 845-228-8710. Oscar. Getting in trouble again was one of our main topics today. Along with the WBA follow the bouncing ball heavyweight title picture. What's worse, Oscar falling off the wagon, or the WBA trying to convince us that they want one champion for each of their divisions, starting with the heavyweight division, and falling miles short of accomplishing that? What do you think?
Oh, geez, come on. You know how I feel. I want one champion in each division.
Right, but I mean, they're saying that they want to do it, yet they line up all these other titles.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you gotta unify titles, and you have to have one world title for each weight class. I mean, that's the common sense route. That's the way to go. And if they could ever do a round robin tournament or elimination, the bottom line is fighters won't last that long because it's going to take so many rounds to ultimately have the championship fight.
The fighters wouldn't take the chance. But joining us now,
no, they wouldn't take the chance. No.
Joining us now, we got Dax on the phone. What's up, brother?
Dax.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Dax.
The Oscar De La Hoya, topic of the show. It's sad because this is a guy who, in my opinion, really he's turning quickly into a cliche. Instead of the golden boy and all the things that he accomplished, what's going to happen is Oscar De La Hoya is going to be remembered for the guy that just let his life fall apart, and he is going to be remembered as the guy who never won the big fight. Remember, Oscar lost against every time he stepped up to the pound-for-pound opponent. And, he was never able to get the Mayweather, the Mosley, the Trinidad, and we know what happened with the Pacquiao fight. And, now, that he became a major player in terms of a promoter, arguably the biggest promoter in the sport for this era. And, now he's falling flat there. So it's a shame to see that guy just unravel like that, And I don't think at this point in time, everybody's helped is able to be helped. I'm not saying it's a waste of time, but I'm just saying at this point in time, I think this guy really needs to forget about boxing and worry about getting himself together. His life is really going to go down, the tubes worse. What's next? I know he used drugs a few times. I remember reading about that. So, you're getting pulled over for DWIs, your drug use, really, Oscar, how much further can the guy fall down? I hate to see this happen to anybody, especially someone, of his caliber, a gold medalist, a promoter, ex-world champion, and that's a shame. I just hate that. I thought these days were long behind us.
Well, the thing is he did go through rehab. He did seem to be on the up and up. I mean, do you think, real quick, I got other people calling in, do you think that it's I know this may sound like a stupid question, but I actually really mean it. Do you think that he's got a problem, or do you think it's that what we were saying earlier, that he's just thinking he's kind of above the law in a little bit? We don't know if he's doing drugs or anything, but going out, having a couple of drinks, and just thinking that you're okay to drive, and you're going a little fast and get pulled over, and next thing you know, you realize that you made a bad decision. Do you think it's a problem, or do you think it's just him thinking his shit don't stink?
No, it's a problem. One time it can happen. 2 times it can happen. Bad mistake, bad judgment, etc. But it's when you're in rehab, you're out of rehab, and you have other issues. I don't know if he's doing drugs right now, but in the past he has done drugs and that. So yeah, it's a problem. More or less, what happens is like a lot of people, whether or not, you get involved with this on a social matter or especially, on a higher level, partying, you have nothing to do with yourself, in terms of you getting bored, and you have a lot of money, and you're trying to fit into that little niche, whatever the case may be, and it starts out as fun. Now it's become a problem that, he needs to really address for himself personally. It is a problem.
Yeah, so you think rehab is in his future again?
It's going to be, this is, at this point in time, as they say, it's going to be a lifelong problem for him. Once he's addicted, he's addicted. He's going to deal with this the rest of his life. This didn't just happen, a week or two. He's been, for a couple of years now, this has been going through the media. He's been in and out of the rehabs and that. So
one last thing I wanted to ask you. Do you think Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to start to look at this as saying, hey, maybe I'm following a path that the wrong guy is setting for me? Or do you think it has nothing to do with, Oscar's decisions as a promoter?
No, I think not at all. I think Canelo right now has enough money. He's comfortable. He's happy. So I don't think there's going to be any changes there. So not at all. Just real quick, just to touch on what you guys were talking. You were talking about Your Mark before, and that upcoming pay-per-view with the Canelo and Cotto and Kirkland. With Your Mark and Rock Nation, those guys lay the blueprint on how to fail at throwing pay-per-views. Look at the numbers that Kovalev and Ward did. That should have been a huge seller. If you ever been to a media presser with Your Mark, the guy spends more time trying to sell his sponsors, to the media. It's not an open workout. It's not an open presser. He's doing almost a Michael Buffer type impersonation, naming down all his sponsors. It's like, you're not selling anything. Nobody here is out there leaving and going to buy anything. We're going to write our article. We're going to get on the radio. We're going to get on TV. We're going to talk about what happened, and that's it. So, that guy really has no idea on what he's doing. And the last thing, you guys, I see that you guys are talking about age. Important people over there, and they're taking shots at Sal in emails about his age. Yesterday, we all know who Ric Flair is. That's the guy back when wrestling was cool. When I was young, when you actually thought that the persona and the person was the real guy. But yesterday, Ric Flair actually takes to social media, and he says, "I need your help, Twitter. What does lit mean?" This is a guy, he's trying to figure out what his grandkids, why they keep saying it's lit. And so he actually takes to social media to try and find somebody to tell him what the modern day expression means.
Yeah, what does it mean?
It just means, it's like happening. It's the place. Like, back in your day, you know what I mean? It used to be, you would walk into the club and be like, oh, it's crazy, man. You'd look over at your girl, you'd be like, come on, Snake, let's rattle. Back in, Sal.
Whoa. Wait a minute. I never did.
Get to the bar. The place is happening. Get in the mix. You know what I mean? So it's.
It was more like.
What it means.
Well, with me and Sal was more like 32 skidoo. Whoopoo.
That's it. There you go.
Remember, Dax. Remember, Sal. Dax.
23 skidoo.
That's right. Hey, Sal. Dax. Remember, Sal's got a parlor. He had to define what the hell a parlor was. So come on, man.
Still having family conversations in the parlor.
Yeah, lit to me. I thought you meant like he lit a cigarette. It's literature. Whatever. But hey, thanks for straightening us out, man.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing you guys have me around.
Yeah, you're right. It is. You got to keep us. 32 skidoos on the right path. I appreciate it, my man.
All right, and something. I'll tell you what. Nowadays, they actually have cars with 4 seats, and and I do realize that Sal was talking about that day. You were down at the parlor. You got a little bit too drunk. You had to throw you in the back of the buggy, and eventually maybe you guys would drive.
That's right. Now they're even laughing at you. Hey, Snake, let's rattle in the chat room. So come on, man. I think that was a Dax original.
He thinks I'm elderly. My son will actually talk to me and ask me about things that happened in the 40s. I'm like, you do realize that was about 40 years before your father was born.
Yeah. Hey, Dax, we'll talk to you tomorrow night on our post-fight show, brother.
Absolutely. Everybody enjoy your day.
Take care.
Dax, take care, pal.
Hey, Snake, let's rattle. Come on, man. He's making fun of us, and he's saying, hey, Snake, let's rattle.
No, actually, it sounds almost retro, like from the 60s with the beach blanket bingo kind of movies. Yeah, hey, Snake, let's rattle.
Hey, you remember? What about a classic saying?
Remember beach blanket bingo?
Yeah, but remember a classic saying with James Cagney was, Hey, what do you hear? What do you say? What do you
Yeah,
hear? What do you
that's
say?
right.
Hey, you say hello to somebody. Hey, what do you hear? What do you say?
What do you hear? That's right. That's
What do you
right,
hear? What do you
that's
say?
right.
You know, huh? What? So slow it down there. But anyway, 845-228-8710. Phone lines are open. We'll take another caller or two. But in the meantime, let's read some final quotes for Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz. Carl Frampton says, both Leo and myself enjoyed the first fight, although more importantly, the fans enjoyed it. I have to give Leo credit for taking the rematch and making it happen. I think with this fight, there can't be too much that goes any different. Our styles just gelled together. Leo's a tremendous fighter who I have the utmost respect for in and out of the ring. Both of us fight for our families. That's really all the motivation you need. Two young men with young kids who just want to give their kids a better life. Those are the ingredients for a top quality contest. There's no doubt we both have what it takes to win this fight, but the way things have been going this training camp, I'm extremely confident that I'm going to get the win. I'm excited for the fight, but I believe that I'm going to come out victorious. This crowd that's come from overseas to support me is incredible, and I'm going to send them home happy. As far as Leo Santa Cruz says, I'm happy to be here. Since I was very small, it was my dream to be the main event on a big card. I saw all the other greats fight here, and I'm always said that maybe one day I too could fight here. Now I've made it, thanks to the help of my family and my team. Now that I have made it, I want to make sure I shine. I want to give it my best. I'm really prepared for this fight. Our first fight was great, and this is going to be another tough fight. We've been working on some little things in the gym. We're going to be smarter, but as a Mexican fighter, I'm going to give the fans a great fight. Every time I step in the ring, I'm trying to please the fans. I can use my distance and box if I want to, but I like to brawl. I want to bring my heart to the ring and entertain the fans. He says, let's see, he says, I really need, I want to be the smarter fighter. I'm going to do what I have to do to win this fight. I really need to fight the best fight of my career. It's a huge fight. It's a main event in Las Vegas. It's what I dream of. I see all the benefits of the hard work I put in. He says, Carl's a great fighter with great skills. He's respectful. I know that he does it for his family, too. When you do it for your family with heart and hunger, you leave everything in the ring. So that's what he has to say there. So what do you think?
I think that's a well-written letter, and absolutely.
We got somebody on the line right now, Sal. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello?
I think we lost him. I think I heard him on there.
Oh, well, I guess
Call back.
I guess we lost. Well, somebody else call. You know, somebody that's ready to talk, call. Don't call and be put on hold and then chicken out. I mean, geez, 845-228-8710. What do you think? You think it's the same old stuff that guys say, or to me it seems like this is no bullshit from either of these fighters?
Well, it's beautiful to hear, and like I said, one of my favorite sayings, and I said it, is always, they want to give us the fluff without the stuff. I want to see more of this stuff.
I thought you said. Wait a minute. I thought you said the sizzle without the steak.
I did. I say a lot of things, Bill. It's just, let's snake roll. Rattle.
No, hey, snake, let's rattle.
Hey, snake, let's
come on.
rattle.
I think Dax just coined his phrase. Every time I think of Dax, I'm gonna say, "Hey, snake, let's rattle."
Hey, did I tell you the one day in my front yard? Living down south, you learn how to adapt and do things differently. So one day, my kids are out playing in the front yard, and there's a rattlesnake. And like every good father would do, is try to protect his kids.
You ran. You ran.
Rattlesnake doing in my front yard.
Wait a minute. You're like anyone that would do when they see a rattlesnake. You ran like a sissy, didn't you?
No. I was intrigued by it. Stupid me, being a damn Yankee. So I got a shovel out of the garage, and I just crashed it on his head and chopped his head off. Then I have my neighbor come by. I got a lot of stories about this neighbor. He's a great guy. I love him. Great. His name is Dave. I could tell you stories all day about David. David was the first real Southerner that took this damn Yankee in and tried to show him some Southern ways here. And anyway, so Dave...
How'd that work out?
I'm still learning.
Oh, all right.
Dave proceeds to cut the tail off the snake, and he starts shaking it like a rattle.
They rattle, right.
This is what we used to do as kids. I said, shit, I just did something that most people in my old home state of Jersey would probably not do. And here you're cutting off the tail and use it as a musical instrument like a rattle.
Hey, listen.
I was like, holy smoke, these guys are serious.
Listen, man, didn't you ever see all the westerns? You know how many times when a guy was hiding and he had people trying to find him, they would have the tail of a rattlesnake and they'd shake it, and it would scare people to think that there was a snake. And I better not look under that blanket. It sounds like this.
I missed that western. Which one was
come
that?
on! No, there was several of them that I saw that used that move.
That's a great decoy. I love that. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Don't look under that blanket with the boots sticking out. It sounds like a rattlesnake's under there. Let's move on. We'll never find. It's sort of like the Bugs Bunny. Oh, he's not. He's not hiding in this stove. Oh yeah. Oh yes, he is, Rocky. Oh no. Would I turn on the gas if my friend Rocky was in that stove? You might, Rabbit. You might. Oh, would I throw a lighted match in there if he was hiding? Oh, I love that episode.
I remember that one.
Hey, button your lip like this, boss. And the big doofus guy they got like a button on his lip. Oh man, there's nothing better than Bugs Bunny. Hey, we talk about all kinds of things on this show. Bugs Bunny, rattlesnakes. I'm just curious to know how the conversion from Sal, a New Jerseyan, is making out down there in the South, because we know damn well it's a different lifestyle down there, brother.
Oh yeah, it is. It's totally different. I'm still learning every day. I'm this damn Yankee. Sometimes they say go home. Sometimes they say, hey, let's show you. Let's fix it and reckon I'm going to be fixing. So,
but did they ever say, hey, Snake, let's rattle?
They've not yet said that to me.
Oh,
but
God. What do you hear? What do you say? It used to be, hey, what's happening? Until that stupid shit.
Thank you. That's the hey,
what's happening? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's going down?
Hey, wait. Has anyone ever said, well, I'll tell you what's happening, Pilgrim?
Yeah, but what's lit? Lit. That's I agree. I'm getting old, I guess.
Lit. If you said, hey, he's lit up. Maybe he's drunk. Maybe
that's right. Exactly. He's lit up. Right. He's drunk. He's buzzed. He's something.
Yeah.
But lit, meaning cool. I don't know. I mean, what's going on? I don't know.
I don't know.
But then again,
I'll let Siri.
What was it? My uncle was saying something, and somebody was texting him, kept texting him and saying, what did he says? LM, like where it stands for laugh my ass off. LMA. What is it? LMA. O. And he's reading an email from one of his kids, and he's going, oh, look, they're calling me a lame-o. I go, they're not calling you a lame. I had to tell him. They're not calling you a lame-o. They're laughing their asses off is what they're doing.
LMAO. Yeah.
Laugh my ass off. LMAO, laugh my ass off is what it stands for.
Yeah,
and my uncle's reading, he's texting back and forth. He says, oh, look, my daughter's calling me a lame-o. I said, no, he's not calling you a lame-o. She's saying she's laughing her ass off, So anyway. But, hey, don't forget, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and all you snakes that are getting ready to rattle, we are going to be doing a post-fight show tomorrow, right after the Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton rematch. Billy C's Frampton Leo Santa Cruz rematch post-fight show will be on live right here on BillyCBoxing.com on the Fight TV channel. And if you haven't downloaded the app for your handheld, just go to Fight, that's F-I-T-E, fight.tv/Billy C. Download the app today. And you can also watch it on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/Talkin' Boxing, TALKINBOXING. We plan on giving you our quick thoughts and then opening up the phone lines tomorrow to get your thoughts. We promised for 2017 we'll be doing a lot more post-fight shows, and we're following up the first one, which we did very well with one that I think we're going to do even better with, Sal, to be honest with you. It's a better fight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, me too. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great night, and we're going to have a great show.
Better than great. So I'm looking in the chat room. You got to. So Johnson is telling us he just found out the sex of his new baby. Well, what is it?
Well, no. I think he's going to find out. That's why he's got to cut out.
Oh.
That's what I'm reading. I just said congratulations.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to watch because I sometimes I get lost in the chat room while I'm chatting with you.
I know. I see that. I can hear that in your voice when you're like, "Yeah, I agree with whatever
I
agree with whatever you just said."
well.
So in other words, you weren't listening to me, but
No, I was listening. I was just doing, multitasking.
See, now that's something I think that today's generation misses out on. I remember, and we had the technology, 30 years ago when my first daughter was born, and we chose not to know the sex. I thought that, but then again, it was a little shocking. I actually, wasn't even thinking I was gonna have a girl, but. The truth of the matter is today everybody knows. I guess you want to plan, paint
They
paint
find
the
out
room.
about 4 months, I think now.
Yeah, but anyway, hey Sal, on this day in boxing history, January 27th, it's already the end of January. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
Oh,
it's
God.
unbelievable. It's 11 months to go.
I know, that's it. Hey, we might as well start.
Hey,
you know
goodbye,
what?
man.
What I suggest is people start buying a copy of my book for Christmas next year because it's a great stocking stuffer. Anyway, on this day, January 27th in 1990, Lindell Holmes wins a 12-round decision over Frank Tate to win the IBF World Super Middleweight title. It took place in New Orleans. On this day in 1913, Jim Driscoll retains his European and British featherweight titles as a result of a 20-round draw with Owen Morgan. That fight took place in London. On this day in 1943, Manuel Ortiz knocks out George Freitas in the 10th round to retain his world bantamweight title. It took place in Oakland, California. On this day in 1954, Archie Moore wins a 15-round decision over Joey Maxim to retain his world light heavyweight title. It took place in Miami. And on this day in 1985, a guy that you used to spar with, I think, Rocky Lockridge, knocks out.
Rocky Lockridge.
Yeah.
Love Rocky Lockridge. I can tell you stories and how many hundreds of rounds we sparred. And Rocky was a true ace and gentleman. I could believe how he wound up, and it's so sad. But I could tell you things about Rocky that I think Rocky would be proud. He was an incredible champion at one time.
Yes, he was. And on this day in 1985, Rocky Lockridge knocks out Camille Bo Ali in the 6th round to retain his WBA World Super Featherweight title. Took place in Italy on this day in 1985. Sal, I still want to put out there, if you guys are interested in hanging with Sal and myself, the first, I guess it's the second week. The second full week in August, I think it's the week of August 14th, down in St. Simon's Island. We plan on having a week's worth of stuff to do, a golf tournament, hanging out at Sal's for dinner, doing our show live, just hanging out, having a good time, and shooting the shit, as I would say. Or we're going to be looking for some snakes that want to rattle. And if you're interested, in finding out more information, just drop me an email, Billy@TalkinBoxing. That's TalkinBoxing.com. And St. Simon's is a beautiful place. It's not just a place where you can hang out with the guys. Bring the family. I encourage everyone to make it a family outing. We can enjoy some boxing, and I'm going to try to work on, once we can get some things concrete, I'm going to try to work on getting some whatchamacallit, what am I looking for? I'm lost for words, but memorabilia, that's it. Boxing memorabilia people set up so you can get yourself some of that memorabilia that you've been looking for. We have several connections in the boxing memorabilia arena. And maybe we'll throw in some other sports as well. I know, Sal, you got connections with some of these former football stars that like to shoot themselves in the legs and stuff. So maybe we can get him to come back
We'll
down.
see what we can do. We had. I'll tell you what. That was just a night to relive. It was a great night. We had Plexico Burris. We had so many stars down there that night. You know that. We had about 12. It was great, including heavyweight champions Michael Mora and Ray Mercer. So we had a great night.
Yeah, I'd like to get Ray back down there, at least.
Ray's a great guy. Ray, let me tell you, Ray, and Michael too. I like Michael. Michael. Michael is a chef. He's a culinary cook. He he was talking to me about some dishes. I think he even went to some chef training school. But
I think he cooks a lot with beer. I think if he gets there, if he comes back, get yourself a couple of cases of Duels and just change the labels and give that to Mike.
Let's see. But I'll tell you, Ray Mercer's he's great. And I'm gonna call Bobby Ches and maybe Vinny Pazienza to see what they're doing.
I would love to have Bobby Ches come down because I think we could get into some great stuff. Bobby has helped me in the past, and he's a great guy. And
great guy.
I know
Bobby,
you guys have a history and a very touching story that we've told before on this show. But I'm sure that would be cool. As a matter of fact, when you were doing your fight, remember we interviewed him, and he was talking about that plane crash and all that stuff. But anyway, I'll be looking forward to all you guys joining us tomorrow night, right after the Carl Frampton Leo Santa Cruz fight. We will be talking about that card, not the Vargas card that'll be on HBO, because we want to cover one. So keep that in the back of your minds. If you guys do get the results of that, don't talk about it, because we will be talking about that fight later. So we will focus on the Frampton-Leo Santa Cruz rematch. So any final thoughts, my man?
Tell you what, I'm looking forward to that fight tomorrow night, and we'll have it here, and we will definitely look forward to that show. I got a show tomorrow night. I'm doing my play tomorrow night too, but I will probably be finished just in time to run home and catch catch those fights. We'll see. This is my last weekend of performing in this play, and we'll see. I think I'll cool for a little while after this, so we can work on more things together, you and I, that we have talked about.
Good luck with the show, and we hope everything works well, and we also hope that you get done with the show and race home, watch the fight, and join us for the post-fight show, brother.
We will. I love doing a show because it's great exercise for my mind, because I have to remember all these lines, and so it's good. It keeps my mind sharp.
Yeah, I could only imagine. I could only imagine.
What's my cue?
I could only imagine
Slip Mahoney.
Everyone that's on the set with you at the same time, they all have their lines on their hat, on their back, on their arm, on their sleeve. They think that you're, oh, look how close Sal is to that actor, and it's like, oh wait, he's reading his line off their neck.
The guy I was looking up at, a guy, he's about 6'6". He had some lines for me on the underneath of his brim of the hat.
That's what I'm saying. He keeps it on there. Everybody, the props, they got a glass of water on the set, and it's got Sal's lines in there. He's like, I can't read it. Take a sip.
It's written on the ice cube.
Yeah, that's why Sal's always going, hey, take a sip of that glass. I can't see the second half of that line, But anyway, Sal, great show as usual. Hey, listen, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, don't forget to tune in tomorrow for our post-fight show. And until then, I'll leave you with wait, I got to do it this way. Hey, don't forget to tune in tomorrow at that Bat Time and Bat Channel. That's not the same Bat Time and same Bat Channel, but it's going to be a Bat Time and Bat Channel after the Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton rematch. So I'll leave you with this. Ciao, baby.